Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another episode of H Unleashed. I'm your host, Helena. I hope you're doing really well today, and yeah, welcome. Don't mind me if I keep looking at my laptop because I have a few notes on there, so just want to make sure I don't miss anything I want to cover. Yeah, so let's get right on into it, shall we? Today's episode, we will be covering a daughter of a narcissist. I wonder who that's about. No. So, I want to be covering the reality of life with a narcissist, making sense of it, the repercussions and the outcome, and the current relationship we have now due to it. So, oh, there's a bit of stuff to get into with this one. I don't think I'll be able to cover this all in one episode because it is so much to cover, and it's like a good 20 years of my life or more. So, we've got a lot to unpack with that one, but this is just the first one. So let's get into it. So what is narcissism? What are the signs? How do you know if you're dealing with one? There's a lot of signs to a narcissist, and I know it's a very strong term to label someone, especially if they haven't been diagnosed with it. But I think you know when you know, you know? No, my birth giver has never been diagnosed because she won't get checked, but that's fine. That's fine. That's her choice. But I know for a fact she is one, and I'm keen. Oh, sorry, I just got a message. I'm keen to dive deep into all this hot mess with my birth giver, the narcissist. Love that. Okay, so signs of a narcissist. They lack empathy, they're manipulative, they're emotionally cold, they gaslight, never take responsibility. Their identity is like the utmost important thing, like as in how people view them from the outside world. So you can only imagine how fun it is to live with one that doesn't care what you have to say or think, but cares about everybody else, what they think. So yeah, I'm just going to get into some examples, and I won't go too deep into it because I think that the examples I'm going to give are their own, like, oh, sorry. Oh, I'm new to this. Forgive me. No. So the stories I'm going to be covering, they are have their own story in itself. So I'll be diving deep into everything I'm talking about eventually. I'm just going to let it come to me organically, naturally, whatever, and cover it as it comes. So here we go. So one thing a narcissist does is blame the victim. Oh, yes, I've had this. It was not fun. It was pretty fucking shit. So I'll give you a little example. So I tried to go to my birth giver, open up to her. Oh, we all knew where I was going to go, but I still tried it anyway. I was a young teen, and I thought it would be awesome to open up to her and try and get some empathy from her, I guess. So it's a bit of blaming the victim and lack of empathy, I guess I'm going to cover in this. So yeah, I decided to open up to her about one of my assaults because there's been a few. No, I definitely didn't tell her about all of them. I think I might have only experienced 2 by this point. So yeah, I opened up about one of them, and she just threw it back at me and told me it was my own fault, and I obviously did something to provoke it. What was I wearing? Like, just all that victim blaming stuff. It was not cool. It wasn't fun. It was pretty shit. Yeah, when you're trying to get approval and get your mother to accept you and show some love and empathy towards you, and they just throw it back at you like that, it's not a fun time. But it's okay. I've worked through that. Another time, at 16, I was groomed by a neighbour. He was in his 40s, and like I just said, he groomed me, ended up being intimate together. He was married. It was, looking back at it now, it's pretty fucked up, but hey, I was in a weak position at the time and he knew that. So I don't know who told her, because I didn't even live with her, nor did I really ever talk to my birth giver. This is when I was living out of home, so I don't know how she found out, but she did somehow. I don't know. And she came to me. Oh, she didn't come to me. She texted me because she never saw me. She never went out away. Love that. No, she texted me and she was just pretty much having a go at me for being intimate with a married man. Her 16-year-old daughter. Okay, I get it. It's fucked up. It was really bad of me, and I don't look back at that like, oh my God, I'm so proud of it. It's pretty shit. Not proud of it, but at the same time, I know I was in a vulnerable position. I know I was going through a lot at that time. I know I was just looking for love, acceptance, and just someone to show interest in me, because I was longing for that, because I was never accepted by my own parents. So he was a parent figure and he gave me all the love and acceptance, just that little bit too much. And yeah, it was not a good time, but that's another story time. So another example is they're highly critical of others. So a great example of this is she would constantly point out all my flaws. So she never really gave me any words of encouragement or love or anything. It was just always putting me down, commenting on my weight, and just saying a big fuck you. But there was this one girl that she just, I don't know, she walked a little bit inwards, like, you know, I think they call it penguin feet. I can't remember, but my mum used, sorry, I don't like using the word mum. Forgive me, my birth giver. She used to tell me that I walked like a penguin and like this woman, and how much she hated it, and how shit it was of a quality to have and walk properly and yada yada yada. I mean, even if your child was doing that, and even if, you know, you did want to correct it, I don't think the way she was going about it was the best way. No, it was a pretty interesting way to correct a child. So another example, unable to control their emotions. Oh, honey, honey, honey. When I say unable to control their emotions, I mean unable to control any motherfucking emotion. So, sorry, I just need a little drink of water, don't mind me. So, we would constantly have fights, and just, when I say constantly have fights, I mean every single day. I would get home from school, there would always be something I would be in trouble for. It could be over the smallest thing, but it would just blow up into the biggest thing, because she just could not let anything go, and she continuously had to be righteous and just be putting you down so she feels better about herself. So that was fun. I was actually bullied in high school. It got pretty bad. I used to go to one high school to, like, I think it was either end of grade 9 or until the beginning of grade 10. Then I swapped to another high school because my friend went there. That was a pretty shit fucking move. It was closer to my home, which is probably how I convinced my birth giver to let me move, but it it was terrible. So going from a school where you would get bullied and put down every single day to then go home and get the exact same from your parents, yeah, it made it pretty hard to get through the days. So it was not a vibe. It was not good. It was terrible, if you ask me. They're unable to let go of things. So again, this kind of ties back in with the unable to control their emotions. So they just continuously hold on to things. But I think in my case, she always said that she did forgive and she did move past it, because I think it was more of like a Christian standpoint that it's a big thing that I've forgiven and I've moved on. Ugh. But realistically, she hadn't, because she had a lot of issues. When they hurt you, they become defensive and accuse you. So I guess this becomes a bit tied in with gaslighting. They accuse you of being overly sensitive. In my case, teenage hormones, constant invalidation of my emotions. I couldn't feel anything. There always had to be a reason. Just me feeling my emotions was never enough. I'm sorry if I keep talking with my hands. I'm Italian, so just forgive me. They're very argumentative and hostile when they feel they've been wronged. In my case, it was always everyone's conspiring against me and you're all ganging up against me and talking behind my back. And the funny thing is that she drove such a wedge between every single relationship that none of us spoke. So everything we felt and said genuinely came from our own experience. So go figure. They always believe themselves to be right. So again, it's very righteous. They can never be wrong. Even if they are wrong, I think they just get it through their heads that they're still right. I don't know how, but they can just convince themselves otherwise and genuinely believe stories that they probably even make up in their head. It's pretty fucking crazy. They will never apologize or acknowledge that they caused the strain. So again, this ties back in with everyone's conspiring against me, blah, blah, blah. They can never just accept that they may have played part in their own doing and own relationships. So trying to get logic and common sense into a narcissist is very, very, very impossible. Honey, it is not worth it. Okay, I'm telling you. They're unable to maintain close relationships. In my case, it's weird. Like, I think back to my childhood, and she had two main friends, and again, they were church people, and eventually they both died out, or a big thing would happen, and they just never spoke again. And I think in both instances, I'm pretty sure, at least myself, felt part of the reason why their friendship ended. Yeah, I feel like, again, that's another story in and of itself. The manipulative to everyone. So when I say this, I used to always get people that would meet my mum, birth giver. I don't talk about her often, so... Oh, sorry. Girl from work just messaged me, don't mind me. Yeah, manipulative to everyone. So I used to always get people saying to me, like, your birth giver, the other word, but I say birth giver. Your birth giver, sorry, is so nice. She seemed very well put together to an extent in front of some people. I think some people did see through her bullshit, but again, we'll get to that. But for the most part, everyone did believe that she was a good person and didn't see that side to her that my sister and I and father had to experience behind closed doors. So I'm not holding my father at a high standard either. Like, again, we'll get into that in a whole nother story. But still, I feel for the poor man. He also did have to live with it. Yeah, they're good at lying, being nice when needed. They have a different personality behind doors and good at sucking you back in then hurting you all over again. Like, just very, very, very manipulative. They're controlling in the sense that you can never be your own person. They always have to make the decisions. Sorry, I wasn't sure what my cat was trying to get in this door. Ignore me. Yeah, you can't have your own views, opinion. The controlling in your physical appearance, grounding you for things that never even happened. I mean, the list just goes on. There's just so many things that those are just some of my own examples with the controlling. So, we've been going for a hot minute, so I might just try and skip through this a little bit, so move on. So making sense of it. Oh boy. It's it's been a long journey trying to make sense of it, and I think that longing for a parent never fully goes away, and the psychological torment it has behind everything that I experienced growing up, it definitely shaped my decisions and choices moving forward. I'm not blaming her because at the end of the day, it was my own decisions and choices, but I think my circumstances kind of pushed me to want to rebel and do opposite of what I was told because I was so forced into a bubble. So being an innocent child in this situation, I obviously wasn't aware of the severity of the situation. I thought it was actually quite common and normal for people's parents to be like this. It wasn't until I started staying over people's houses and saw the warmth and love and genuine connection that their parents were giving their child. And I was just like, bro, like, you need to appreciate your parents a little more. Like, you're so fortunate. Like, what I would do to have that. And, you know, I did used to get jealous. I did used to be quite resentful and just be like, why couldn't I have that? You know, but I think I'm not figuring out. I have figured out that this is my own journey. This is my own life path. This happened to me for a reason, and it has shaped me to the woman I am today. And I think I'm quite well ahead of most people my age because I don't think a lot of people have even experienced one thing, let alone all the things I'm going to be talking about. So, yeah, although it was shitty, everything I've been through, I'm still grateful for it. Bizarre, but it's true. It was really hard for me staying friends with parents, staying with people whose parents were very loving towards them because it wasn't normal for me to witness. Started making me feel like, why am I not good enough? Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I in this situation? And like, just again, why am I not good enough? Because at that age, you don't understand that it's nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Seriously. I now try and understand her mind, views, whole being, and how a mother could possibly care so little. What was going on in her life for her to go this way and be this way. And I've come to the realization that she chose this path. At one point or another, you can only blame people for so long until you open up your eyes and realize that you play parts in your life and outcome. So the outcome, the repercussions and outcome. I dropped out of school and moved out of home at the age of 16. At the age of 16, I moved in with my partner who was cheating on me, which I didn't know at the time. Came to learn that. I confided in the next door neighbour who was nice to me, who then later groomed me. And I later moved in with him and his partner. I fell into toxic relationships. Oh, sorry, there's like a lot. Oh, no, we're good. I fell into toxic relationships. Was screaming, which is a whole nother story. The only interactions we had after I left home was the occasional trip to my sister's, which was never a good time, trust me on that. For the years after leaving home, I would only have received contact from her about Christian YouTube videos, Facebook posts, or preaching at me over text messages. I would end up blocking her number for years. Sending multiple long messages very rarely over the years to try and rebuild a connection to only be instantly shut down and disrespected. She would end up making multiple social accounts trying to follow, watch me, and gain information on me. She would end up finding where I worked, moving next door to it, and even came to it twice. I would end up getting involved with the wrong crowds, constantly wanting validation, love. I had fear of abandonment, high self-doubt, sabotaging myself, lack of self-worth. I used to find comfort in food. I would struggle with my weight, commitment issues, trust issues, high anxiety, PTSD, severe depression, inability to ever believe in myself, love myself, build genuine friendships, or genuinely feel like ever someone could truly accept me for who I was, because my own parents couldn't. Joys. The current relationship, long story short, we don't have one. As you guys might know from my Instagram stories, because I'm very vocal on that. I don't post much, but I am very vocal on my stories. I went to Melbourne for something that was not easy for me. It really broke me. And that is probably what really triggered me to start this whole series and really dive deep into this hot mess. So, fuck it. I'm going to bring it up. I'm not going into too much detail because, again, I'm probably going to make that its own story in itself when I'm ready. But I am ready to just give you a brief overview of what's happened recently and what was so challenging about it and why. So, long story short, I have my birth giver's number blocked. I can't receive or see any messages she sends me, regardless if they do send. I don't get them, even if I unblock it. No idea, they go into some fucking portal space world where I never see it. However, if I do have it blocked, she can still call me. It just doesn't go through to my phone. It just goes straight to voicemail and she can leave a voicemail. So a few weeks ago, I received a voicemail from her, and in that voicemail, she didn't sound like herself. She sounded like quite unwell, and just, again, I don't hear from her very often, especially over voicemail. So I think just hearing her voice nowadays, it's just like, who is this person? Like, it's just been that long since hearing her voice, and yeah, it just felt really weird, if I'm going to be really honest. But in that voicemail, she said, please contact me. I'm not well. Like, she just sounded really off and said it was like urgent or emergency or whatever. You may be thinking, Helena, it's an emergency. It's urgent. Why are you not reaching out, even if you don't have a good relationship? And the reason for that is because that is her normal tactic to pull me back in. She makes it sound like she's on her deathbed or something very serious has happened, just for it to be absolutely fucking nothing, and just to pretty much get me to cave to talk to her. For no good reason, really. So she's kind of burnt that bridge with using that. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. If I'm in a different position, it's because my SD got full. Maybe I should invest in something a bit bigger because, girl, we're going to be having a lot of long talks. But anyway, getting back to where I was. So that's pretty much the reasoning why I don't or didn't respond to it. But the following day, I got another call from her. She left another message, and pretty much in that message, she had confirmed that she was seeing her brother, because she's living in Melbourne. So I got in contact, and that is where I found out the really difficult thing that I am, I guess, still working through, because it is a lot to take in and very upsetting to say the least. So I'm getting through it okay, but long story short, my birth giver moved to Melbourne to care for my unwell nonna. And for those of you that don't know what nonna is, it's Italian for grandma. And there's really no way no other way to put it, but she was neglecting and not looking after her. So it all came out due to someone unbeknownst to the family, and I'm so thankful for you, girl. But again, this will be its own story time when I'm ready. I just wanted to give you a quick little overview. It's just, yeah, my birth giver was neglecting and not looking after my nonna, who's already unwell and not good to begin with. So when I found out, I went there pretty quickly. But yes, we will get into all of that. So the current relationship, obviously, I don't have one with her. My oldest sister and her son, her firstborn son, also don't have a relationship with her. So it's not just me having bad blood with my birth giver. It's genuinely, she's burnt all bridges with all children, which is pretty sad to say the least. I feel like that would be pretty lonely, and yeah, just don't understand the mentality behind it. I don't know if I ever will fully because I'm not a narcissist, but hey, I will get there. The bridge is completely burnt. It doesn't stop me from still wanting her to get help. I think at the end of the day, she's still my mother. No, sorry. I take that back. At the end of the day, she's still my birth giver, and I think for that reason, I just want her to get help for herself, not even to have a relationship with me, because I think even if she did get help and try to build a relationship, I think it's just way too far gone. Yeah, so that's that. My own self-being and worth and health and self-love, like all that good stuff is my main priority now, so I really just don't buy into the bullshit no more. It's been a long 10 years of it, so I'm glad I'm finally at the stage to be like, I'm done. I just want to say, if you've ever experienced narcissism before, just know you aren't alone. Know you aren't crazy. Know that your feelings and emotions are valid. Your emotions and feelings are valid. Say it with me. You're allowed to be your own person with your own personality, with your own passions and your own wants and needs and desires. Believe it or not, you deserve it all. You have the world in your hands, and your past doesn't have to define you. It really, really doesn't. I think if you're not someone that really has any experience with this stuff, I hope it just kind of opens your eyes to like the outcome and repercussions it has on a child growing through that, the whole life, and just the effects and mental fuckery they have to deal with growing up, and just all of it, hun. Like, it's just terrible, and it's not a vibe. It's not cool. Don't recommend it. Oh, God, so many red flags. But yes, a lot of story times to come from my experiences growing up with my narcissistic birth giver, sorry. Oh God, this is going to be a long journey of trying to say birth giver. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned a lot of something. Yeah, it's gonna get a lot more hectic than what it is right now. Like, I'm trying not to like just it all on you. I don't even know what oh my God, just yeah, ignore that. But like I said, I hope you had fun. I hope you look forward to the next episode, which I again really look forward to recording. It's another one. I think that one's gonna be about my father. I'm meeting him for the first time, so that's going to be interesting. I hope you're looking forward to it, because I am. But until then, I hope you do well and stay safe, keep well, and until then, I'll see you next time. Bye guys!